Hi, I'm Michael Roy, and I'm trying to start a newspaper in 30 days.
Good morning, everybody. So I'm starting out today a little different. I made a bit of a road trip for one of my stories. I drove about an hour or so away from Janesville to Springfield because there is a former JWP graduate. I actually graduated with this person that is teaching music. He's a choir director here at Springfield, and one of the big things about him is that from what I saw on Facebook, the choir program here has grown immensely, and I know that his alma mater, South Dakota State, has a lot of involvement in town here, and I think part of that is because of him. So looking to get a story on him, maybe visit a little bit. He doesn't have a lot of time. He's a busy man. He's preparing several choir concerts, and I think he said he even heads some teacher committee here. So he's a busy man. Don't want to take too much of his time. I'll let you know how it goes. So I just got back from Springfield not even 5 minutes ago. I'm back home now. One of the things that I did, the interview, that went great. That went spectacular. It was great catching up with my old classmate. He gave me a little mini tour of the school, showed me around, showed me like their auditorium and some of their classrooms, and we had some time to spare after the interview to catch up. We talked about Janesville, he talked about Springfield and all of that fun stuff. But anyway, we did that. I took a little jaunt around Springfield for a bit. He suggested I talk to their paper. It's the Advance Press, and let me tell you, they sent me home with a lot of stuff. So a couple newspapers, they do a little historical piece. They call it the Golden Ages Yearbook. It has a bunch of different stories about people and places in and around Springfield, and they do booklets for people, just to make a little extra money, so it's not just the newspaper, which it's all good stuff. It's good ideas. So they even said if when I start the paper, they'd like to do a trade, or I get their paper, they get mine, and we can catch up a little bit that way. So it was nice getting some insight from them. The Advanced Press, I believe they told me that they've been around for about 137 years, aka a mighty long time. That placed them around the beginning of the 1890s, so good stuff all around. Springfield, the short time I was there, they're a lot like Janesville. I think they have a couple of different things that Janesville doesn't have. So I found it interesting. Springfield's 2,000 people. Janesville's more or less 2,500. They had a water park, like a mini water park. Well, it was more like a pool and a couple slides, but they had one slide. It reminded me of like the Waseca Water Park. Huge, swirly slides. I thought that was interesting. They had that in a town of 2,000, and Sleepy Eye is only about 10 minutes away. The other thing was I checked out their grocery store. So a few years ago, many people may remember when Waseca had Hy-Vee, and then it switched to Cashwise. This grocery store in Springfield was at least as big as that, if not a little bigger. It felt roomier. It didn't feel like a grocery store that you'd expect in a town of 2,000 people. I know people have been clamoring for a grocery store in Janesville. I know Waseca has been the same since now they only have a Walmart for a grocery store, which isn't bad, but Walmart is a mix of things. It's not a dedicated grocery store. So, I understand, for lack of a better word, the contempt of not having an actual grocery store where it's just food and, your basic kitchen supplies. Springfield looks like they got a good school district. They do a lot of things that I know JWP is trying to do, and vice versa. I feel like the band program at JWP is really taking off. Springfield so far, they have about, in the past 5 years, 3 different band directors. So we have an advantage in that way. It's kind of the reverse. We've at least had the choir director at JWP in the past, 2-3 years. It's been the same. So at least we have that going for us. And, our band program's grown a lot, kind of like Springfield's choir program. But yeah, you want to talk about a legend. My former classmate, Bailey, turning a choir of, I think he said he started with 25 in the high school to now it's over 100 kids. Quadrupling that in just 6 years. That's special. Hoping to post that online in a week, but I think that's going to be a big story in my first issue of the print version of the newspaper, and of course the e-edition. So I'm going to take a bit of a break. I was planning on doing some side hustle work, but it's about 1 o'clock. I was expecting to be back in the Mankato area at about 11, so a good chunk of my time was taken, but it was worth it, getting to talk to the people at the Advanced Press in Springfield and that. So again, just taking a break, and then I got a wrestling meet I'm going to be at here in town. Starts at 5. I'm probably going to hop in at about 6, so I'll be enjoying covering some wrestling.